I hope you watch this video in its entirety. It took me a long time to go through this Netanyahu speech, but the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, introduces the President of the United States, Netanyahu, as His Excellency.
Members of Congress, I now have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel.
Now, a large percentage of Democrats refused to attend Netanyahu's speech, but one that did show up was Rashida Tlaib, who had a sign that read, "Guilty of genocide" on one side and "war criminal" on the other side. While in the eyes of many she's right, Rashida Tlaib and the other Democrats are just hypocrites. Why? Because on the one hand, while they claim to be against Netanyahu, they're for Netanyahu when they support Biden and Harris, who also supports Netanyahu. And I know we can expect this because it's all part of the show under the big top. Here's another clip for you.
Our world is in upheaval. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization, between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together. Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose. Friends, I came to assure you today of one thing. We will win.
It almost sounds like a little pissant country totally controls a superpower country. Nah, that couldn't be. Netanyahu goes on to describe the October 7th Hamas attack from his propagandist perspective, and then he highlighted some October 7th survivors and Israeli Special Forces officers clearly attempting to play off the emotions of his audience. And of course, Elon Musk was in the crowd attending as Netanyahu's special guest. Bibi makes it a special point to remind the audience that he has the support of Joe Biden, who is a proud fellow Zionist.
I thank President Biden for his heartfelt support for Israel. After the savage attack on October 7th, he rightly called Hamas sheer evil. He dispatched 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East to deter a wider war. And he came to Israel to stand with us during our darkest hour, a visit that will never be forgotten. President Biden and I have known each other for over 40 years. I want to thank him for half a century of friendship to Israel and for being, as he says, a proud Zionist. Actually, he says a proud Irish-American Zionist.
Multiple times during the course of the speech, Netanyahu references October 7th to leverage the sympathy of those who will fund he and his country even more in the future.
For Israel, never again must never be an empty promise. It must always remain a sacred vow. And after October 7th, never again is now.
Netanyahu also reiterates the same old propaganda lines. If you're against Israel, well, then you must be for Hamas.
My friends, defeating our brutal enemies requires both courage and clarity. Clarity begins by knowing the difference between good and evil. Yet incredibly, many anti-Israel protesters, many choose to stand with evil. They stand with Hamas. They stand with rapists and murderers. They stand with people who came into the kibbutzim, into a home. The parents hid the children, the 2 babies, in the attic, in a secret attic. They murdered the families, the parents. They found the secret latch to the hidden attic, and then they murder the babies. These protesters stand with them. They should be ashamed of themselves. They refuse to make the simple distinction between those who target terrorists and those who target civilians, between the democratic state of Israel and the terrorist thugs of Hamas.
He suggests that the Washington, D.C. protesters who are outside the speech protesting must be funded by Iran.
For all we know, Iran is funding the anti-Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building, not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. When the tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become Iran's useful idiots. That's amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Then he goes on to talk about the world's oldest hatred.
Anti-Semitism is the world's oldest hatred. For centuries, the massacre of Jews was always preceded by wild accusations. We were accused of everything from poisoning wells, to spreading plagues, to using the blood of slaughtered children to bake Passover matzahs. These preposterous anti-Semitic lies led to persecution, mass murder, and ultimately to history's worst genocide, the Holocaust. Now, just as malicious lies were leveled for centuries at the Jewish people, malicious lies are now being leveled at the Jewish state. No, don't applaud. Listen.
Listen, servants.
The outrageous slanders that paint Israel as racist and genocidal are meant to delegitimize Israel, to demonize the Jewish state, and to demonize Jews everywhere. And no wonder we've witnessed an appalling rise of anti-Semitism in America and around the world. My friends, whenever and wherever we see the scourge of anti-Semitism, we must unequivocally condemn it and resolutely fight it, without exception.
You know what he just did there, right? He conflated all Jews with the state of Israel and said if you criticize Israel's government, you're an anti-Semite who must be quashed.
And don't be fooled when the blood libels against the Jewish state come from people who wear fancy silk robes and speak in lofty tones about law and justice. Here's a case in point. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has shamefully accused Israel of deliberately starving the people of Gaza. This is utter, complete nonsense. It's a complete fabrication.
Is it really, though? Is it really a fabrication? Now check out this lie.
Despite all the lies you've heard, the war in Gaza has one of the lowest ratios of combatants to non-combatants casualties in the history of urban warfare. And you want to know where it's lowest in Gaza? It's lowest in Rafah.
After talking about how much Iran hates America, he actually has the gall to say that Israel is the protector of America.
In the heart of the Middle East, standing in Iran's way, is one proud pro-American democracy, my country, the state of Israel. That's why the mobs in Tehran chant death to Israel before they chant death to America. For Iran, Israel is first, America is next. So when Israel fights Hamas, we're fighting Iran. When we fight Hezbollah, we're fighting Iran. When we fight the Houthis, we're fighting Iran. And when we fight Iran, we're fighting the most radical and murderous enemy of the United States of America. And one more thing. When Israel acts to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons that could destroy Israel and threaten every American city, every city that you come from, we're not only protecting ourselves, we're protecting you.
Israel is our protector. That's what he's saying. Now watch him try to guilt trip all Americans into doing even more for Israel by saying, yeah, you guys gave us weapons and funds, but we gave you intelligence. We've helped you develop weapons that'll keep both of our countries safe. And we helped keep Americans' boots off the ground. You should be thanking us.
My friends, if you remember one thing from the speech, remember this: our enemies are your enemies. Our fight is your fight, and our victory will be your victory. Israel will do whatever it must do to to restore security to our northern border and return our people safely to their homes. Those who attack Israel will pay a very heavy price. And as we defend ourselves on all fronts, I know that America has our back. And I thank you for it. My friends, for decades, America has provided Israel with generous military assistance. And a grateful Israel has provided America with critical intelligence that saved many lives. We've jointly developed some of the most sophisticated weapons on earth. I choose my words carefully. We've jointly developed some of the most sophisticated weapons on earth that help protect both our countries. And we also help keep Americans' boots off the ground while protecting our shared interests in the Middle East. I deeply appreciate America's support, including in this current war.
Wait, what's he leading up to here? I feel like there's a but coming. Thanks for all you've done for us. Remember, we helped too, but
this is an exceptional moment. Fast-tracking U.S. military aid can dramatically expedite an end to the war in Gaza and help prevent a broader war in the Middle East.
Fast-track military aid? Do you know what he just said? You're not sending military aid fast enough. Come on, step it up, servants. He's actually snapping his fingers at Americans. Work harder. We need weapons. We need funds.
In World War II, as Britain fought on the front lines of civilization, Winston Churchill appealed to Americans with these famous words: "Give us the tools and we'll finish the job." Today, as Israel fights on the front line of civilization, I too appeal to America. Give us the tools faster and we'll finish the job faster.
Give us death machines so we can bring death faster. Come on, Americans, work harder. If you don't, World War III's coming. What a sicko. And the enemies of the people in Congress just sit there and applaud. Just look at all these sellouts. And of course, after giving a positive nod to his Biden Zionist buddy, he expresses his appreciation for his Trump Zionist buddy.
I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in brokering the historic Abraham Accords. Like Americans, Israelis were relieved that President Trump emerged safe and sound from that dastardly attack on him, dastardly attack on American democracy. There is no room for political violence in democracies. I also want to thank President Trump for all the things he did for Israel, from recognizing Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, to confronting Iran's aggression, to recognizing Jerusalem as our capital and moving the American embassy there. Working together, I'm confident that our two nations will vanquish the tyrants and terrorists who threaten us both.
Wait, what if the rulers of America and Israel are the tyrants and terrorists who are threatening everybody else? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Thought Police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to our email list or our website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a shirt, become a channel member, but more importantly, call out these bozos every chance you get. This is a political dog and pony show circus, and we do nobody favors by sitting back and just accepting it. I'll see you in the next video.